What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Molly Qerim. Apparently, Molly Qerim did not show up for work today. Y'all know that last night I did a video. I posted a video about the initial reports about Molly Qerim being done at ESPN. I'll link that video in the description box so y'all get more context. And apparently today on First Take, Stephen A. Smith opened the show and spoke about Molly Qerim pretty much being done with ESPN. And then Molly Qerim posted to her Instagram where she alluded to, and we're going to get to her message. She alluded to the fact that the news was dropped earlier than she intended it to be. There are some things going on behind the scenes. There really is. Now, I'm not sure exactly what, but I think there's some stuff going on here. And Stephen A. Smith also has alluded that she'll get to it at her own time. So I made a joke in the comment section of my video about Molly Qerim last night. I joked about how, they must have gave her a pity deal. Like they must have gave her a deal with less money and, not expanding her role. Like she has to see with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is doing a little bit of everything. She's basically relegated to just First Take. And I spoke about how, she might be tired of sports. She's been at ESPN for what they said, well over 15 years, 19 years? She's been there. And she might be effectively done with sports. And I said it in my video, her and ESPN probably should have parted ways years ago. Because when I have seen ESPN recently, it looked like she's there because she gets paid to be there. She just seemed like just another person on the panel, to the point to where they had to add more people to make up for the fact that, she was there, but then she wasn't. So it's either they gave her a deal for less money or the same money. She was going to have the same job. They weren't going to expand her duties because, again, when you talk about ESPN, you talk about ABC as well. And maybe she wants to do more and they've told her no. But you can do First Take. And with Stephen A. Smith alluding to and speaking on her abrupt leaving ESPN, she obviously is unhappy. Molly Qerim is unhappy because the fact that a woman as professional as she is, even though she's missed dates recently at ESPN for undisclosed reasons, she still did her job when they needed her to do it. And the fact that instead of her leaving in at the end of the year, she's going to leave early lets me know she's already spoken to them and said, you know what, why don't we just go ahead and cut ties now? It might be an emotional decision, but let's get into it. Stephen A. Smith announces Molly Qerim's abrupt exit from First Take and ESPN. Following reports that Molly Qerim was leaving ESPN at the end of the year, the First Take host appears to have already departed. Monday night, Austin Karp of the Sports Business Journal reported that Qerim was planning to leave ESPN when her contract expires at the end of 2025. I think that is what really angered Molly Qerim. But I think ESPN probably felt like they didn't have enough time to find a replacement, or maybe they were frustrated by the negotiations and they put this out here to say, hey, she's leaving. That puts her in a bad spot in that situation. That's probably why she didn't show up. Now, again, if you're only supposed to leave at the end of the year, then you should show up because you're still contracted, unless you got a buyout already. Tuesday morning, however, Stephen A. Smith opened First Take with a farewell message to Qerim, making it seem like her time at the network had already finished. Here. Stephen A. Smith. I can't play the video for copyright reasons. Good morning and welcome to First Take. Normally, our friend Molly Qerim would greet you. However, Molly announced last night she'll be departing from ESPN. She hosted First Take for 10 years and elevated the show with her grace, her expertise, and her incomparable kindness. We'll miss her and wish her every blessing on her future. And that's basically Stephen A. Smith speaking for ESPN as a company, because he is the ultimate company man. How many of y'all want to bet that ESPN went to Stephen A. and asked him about keeping Molly Qerim and maybe the type of money that Molly Qerim was asking for to get his advice on it? Because again, he's the ultimate company man. What do y'all think Stephen A. said? Pay her more or let her walk? What do y'all think Stephen A. Smith said? She's been an enormous part of our success for a decade. Not only did she keep me and many others in line, she did it with dignity and class and kindness, to say the least. We'll miss her and wish her every blessing on her future. I personally am grateful for her friendship, and I will miss spending every weekday morning with her right by my side. After the news of Qerim's looming departure broke Monday night, she confirmed the report in an Instagram story. Qerim shared that she decided to step away from First Take and express gratitude for the opportunity to be a part of the show. Now, this is her message here. Let's magnify this a little bit. She says, now that the news came out earlier than I intended and not in the way that I hoped. To my First Take family, after much reflection, I've decided it's time to close this incredible chapter and step away from First Take. Hosting this show has been one of the greatest honors of my career. Every morning, I had the privilege of sharing the desk with some of the most brilliant, passionate, and entertaining voices in sports, and with all of you, the best fans in the world. I'm so grateful for that. This journey has given me lifelong friendships, unforgettable memories, and the chance to be a part of something truly special. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for welcoming me into your homes. Stay tuned. With love and gratitude, Molly. So with her saying stay tuned lets me know that she's looking to score a job somewhere else. But we will see. Says Molly has been with ESPN for nearly 2 decades and began contributing to First Take in a fill-in host in 2015 before taking over full-time when predecessor Kara Champion moved to anchoring SportsCenter. Over the course of the last 10 years, Qerim went from being a host who introduced questions and topics to being an integral part of the show. As Smith noted, keeping himself and others in check on First Take is not always an easy task. Well, I will say this. She definitely, her opinions were not always needed in certain moments. I will say that. I will say that she had the worst timing. I will say that she did try to assert herself in situations she probably shouldn't have. I think there are times where she's put her foot in her mouth. I think that, she had her issues there. And I truly believe that she probably should have left First Take years ago. I think that whole thing ran its course when Skip left for FS1. It was downhill from there. Now, you saw a bit of a resurgence when Shannon Sharpe came in, but then Shannon Sharpe is no longer there. It's just not the same. It just isn't. Also, the fact that she married and divorced Jalen Rose while there as well. So I honestly have said this in my other video, and I'm going to say it here again. She should have left ESPN years ago. I think that it was a show hanging on by a thread. Now it's really going to hang on by a thread because there were people who were probably tuning in just to see Molly Qerim. As crazy as that may sound, she was the eye candy of the show. And as much as there are people who get online and say things about her, y'all tune in to look at her. That's what's going on. Nothing wrong with that, but I just want y'all to understand that this whole thing should have ended years ago. And I think ESPN probably felt like she wasn't valuable enough for big money. Because that was she was probably looking for before she left. She was probably looking to leave sports, but she would have stayed if they would have offered her a big enough payday. And maybe they just said, you know what, we just don't think you're worth it. We have other women here, or even men we can put in that particular seat, and we feel like they would do just fine. I even spoke about it in my video. I spoke about how people were praising Peter Schrager because he filled in for her and apparently did a good job. Y'all know she sees comments like that, right? And that probably bothers her. I think at the end of the day, it's all about, do ESPN value her, or do they see her as replaceable? Maybe they do see her as replaceable, but that's just the way, sports is. A lot of these people are replaceable. Well, not all, but most of them are. It's very rare you're gonna have people who aren't gonna be replaceable. That's why ESPN gave Stephen A. Smith the big money that he wanted. But whatever she does, hopefully it's something that she's comfortable with. Because a lot of times on First Take, it just seems like she wanted to be a part of the conversation, but she wasn't really saying anything. So let me know what's in the comment section. Let me throw that video, share it. Follow me on Facebook, X, Instagram. Check out all the videos on my channel, and I'll see y'all in the next one.